Historical background. Logical positivism emerged during the early 20th century as one of the most influential movements in analytic philosophy. It developed primarily through the Vienna Circle, a group of philosophers, mathematicians, and scientists in Austria. They sought to establish a scientific foundation for all meaningful knowledge and to eliminate speculative philosophy. Intellectual influence. The movement was influenced by the empiricism of David Hume, the positivism of Auguste Comte, and the logical analysis of language developed by Bertrand Russell and Ludwig Wittgenstein. These thinkers inspired logical positivists to believe that knowledge must be grounded either in observation or logical reasoning. Main aim of logical positivism. The central goal of logical positivism was to distinguish meaningful statements from meaningless ones. According to logical positivists, many traditional philosophical debates are based on linguistic confusion. Philosophy, therefore, should clarify language and support scientific inquiry rather than speculate about reality beyond experience. What is the verification principle? The verification principle becomes the cornerstone of logical positivism. It states that a proposition is meaningful only if it can be verified through experience or is true by definition. If a statement cannot be empirically tested or logically proven, it lacks cognitive meaning. Analytic and synthetic statements. Logical positivists divided meaningful statements into two categories. Analytic statements are true by virtue of meanings, such as all bachelors are unmarried. Synthetic statements are verified through observation, such as water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Together, these form the basis of meaningful discourse. Empirical verification. For a statement to be meaningful, there must be some possible observational evidence supporting or refuting it. Statements like "there is a tree outside the window" are meaningful because they can be checked through experience. Verification links language directly to observable reality. Strong verification. Initially, some logical positivists proposed strong verification, according to which a statement is meaningful only if it can be conclusively verified. However, they soon realized that many scientific laws cannot be conclusively verified because they involve universal claim, extending beyond present observation. Weak verification. To address strong verification problem, Ayer introduced weak verification. A statement is meaningful if there is some possible evidence that could make it probable. This modification allows scientific hypothesis and historical claim to remain meaningful even without absolute proof. Example of meaningful statements. Statements such as "the earth revolves around the sun" or "iron expands when heated" are meaningful because they can be tested through observation and scientific investigation. Their truth depends on evidence rather than mere speculation. Example of meaningless statement. According to logical positivists, statements such as "the absolute is perfect" or "the soul exists beyond space and time" are meaningless because no empirical test can verify or falsify them. Such statements may express emotion or belief but not factual knowledge. What is metaphysics? Metaphysics traditionally studies ultimate reality, existence, God, the soul, and the nature of being. Philosophers from Plato to Hegel engage deeply with metaphysical questions. Logical positivists challenge this entire tradition by questioning the meaningfulness of its claim. Why reject metaphysics? Logical positivists argue that metaphysical statements cannot be empirically verified. Since they fail the verification principle, they are neither true nor false. Instead, they are considered meaningless combination of words that appear profound but convey no factual content. Carnap's critique. A leading logical positivist, Rudolf Carnap, argue that many metaphysical statements arise from misuse of language. In his famous essay, The Elimination of Metaphysics through Logical Analysis of Language, he claimed that logical analysis can expose such statements as pseudo-proposition. Metaphysics and emotion. Logical positivists acknowledge that metaphysical language may have emotional or poetic values. Statements about God, destiny, or ultimate reality can inspire feelings and attitudes. However, they do not provide objective knowledge because they cannot be scientifically verified. Impact on philosophy. The rejection of metaphysics transformed 20th century philosophy. Many philosophers shifted attention from grand metaphysical systems to the analysis of language, logic, and scientific concepts. This marked a significant change in the direction of modern philosophical inquiry. Philosophy is not a science. Logical positivists argue that philosophy does not produce new factual knowledge about the world. Unlike physics, chemistry, or biology, philosophy does not conduct experiment or discover empirical fact. Its function is fundamentally different. Philosophy as logical analysis. According to logical positivists, philosophy is primarily concerned with the logical clarification of language. Philosophers analyze concepts, examine propositions, and reveal hidden ambiguities. The goal is to make scientific and everyday language clear and more precise. Influence of Wittgenstein. The early philosophy of Ludwig Wittgenstein strongly influenced logical positivism. Wittgenstein argued that many philosophical problems arise because language is misused. By understanding logical structure, philosophers can resolve the many traditional problems. Philosophy as a second-order activity. Logical positivists view philosophy as a second-order discipline. Science investigates the world directly, while philosophy examines the language and method used by science. Thus, philosophy acts as a critical and analytical tool rather than a source of substantive theories. The unity of science. Logical positivists promoted the ideal of a unified science. They believed that all meaningful knowledge should ultimately be expressible in scientific language. Philosophy contributes by clarifying concepts and ensuring logical consistency across different scientific disciplines. Problem of verifying the verification principle. Critics point out a major difficulty. The verification principle itself cannot be empirically verified. If the principle is applied to itself, it appears meaningless according to its own standard. This challenge weakened the logical positivist position. Criticism from Karl Popper. Karl Popper argued that science advances not through verification but through falsification. Scientific theories can never be conclusively verified. They remain scientific because they can be tested and potentially proven false. Challenges from later philosophy. Later philosophers questioned the strict distinction between analytic and synthetic statement. They also argue that observation is influenced by theoretical assumption. This criticism gradually reduced the dominance of logical positivism in contemporary philosophy. Contribution. Despite its decline, logical positivism made lasting contribution. It encouraged clarity, precision, logical rigor, and respect for scientific method. It also transformed philosophy into a discipline deeply concerned with language and meaning. In conclusion, logical positivism sought to establish a scientific criterion of meaning through the verification principle, rejected metaphysics as meaningless, and redefined philosophy as logical analysis. Although many of its doctrines are criticized, its influence remains visible in analytic philosophy, philosophy of science, and contemporary discussion about language and knowledge. if you are still watching. I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.